Welcome everybody to the Double OGs podcast. Here is me, French OG at FrenchOG3 on X.com, and with my friend Degen CPA, the
Hey guys.
degenerate accountant. Yes, please introduce yourself, Degen.
Hey guys, my name, I'll just go by Degen here. I'm 36 years old. I've been a nomad for 2.5 years. I lived all across South America. I kind of bounced around. I'm back in the States now, setting my life back up. I'm going to probably go abroad a little bit more. But I know French from Twitter, post a lot about my stories, kind of like traveling, dating, just having fun and just going out and partying, just really having a good time. And over that, French and I connected, and here we are.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I just want to have a good laugh, I always look at Degen's account. He has some
Yeah.
stuff, It's a I thought, sometimes I have some dating BS, dating text exchange, and I see his stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, that's too much. Even for me, I'm just like the master. The apprentice took over the master. I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But what's really interesting about Degen, I find, outside of the fact that it's a complete cognitive dissonance when it comes to CPA and Degen, is his background story, right? Like how he basically moved from the US, became a passport bro, and completely change the view that I have of accountant. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think most of the accountant conform to the general cliche. Is it?
Yeah, it pretty much it is like when you think of accountant, the stereotype you're thinking is true like 99% of the time. Like everyone I work with, they think I have like a normal life. I talk to them as if I have a normal life. I go out on the weekend, or they think I have like barbecues with my friends on the weekends. They think I'm into like fantasy football, watching sports. But really, I'm just going out and just having a good time. I'm kind of being a degen, I guess, which is where my name comes from. And just trying to have fun. And it's just like something that kind of really contradicts my career path, which is kind of funny.
Hey, look, sometimes you just need to have heavens of, escapism and spreadsheets, asset and liabilities, profit
Yeah.
and loss statement, cash
Yeah.
flow statement. Woo!
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
go
shit
ahead.
gets super boring at times, and I just need to venture out and just do whatever. It's a good career to have. It pays me well, and it also lets me do whatever the fuck I want elsewise, which I'm grateful for. That, and it's also I was able to maneuver myself to be remote, and that was a huge plus for it. So I can do all my shit online, everything remote, and I can still go fuck off to wherever, which I really like. It's a great lifestyle for me.
You see that, and that's really key. That's really important to angle yourself in a way so that you don't necessarily have fuck you money, but
Yeah,
you have fuck you attitude in a way that you're not location bound, and
yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah, I tried this once in like 2018. I made a little bit of money in crypto, and I really
Mm-hmm.
hated my job back then. So right around then, I quit my job and I traveled for a year. So I went around like Europe for a little bit. I was in Bali for a while. I was doing like kind of like the typical Southeast Asia stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually I started running out of money and I came back to the US and had to come back and get a normal job. But I always knew I wanted to maneuver myself to be remote down the line so I can live like that again. And it took a little bit. It took me about 2.5 years since I moved back to the US until I got a remote job that let me do what I had to do. And doing that, I had job offers that would have been a little bit better, a little bit paid a little bit more, but it would have took me away from like that remote path. So I had to decline those and kind of like stay true to what I want to do. And now that I've been like remote, being able to like just bounce around and go wherever I want, it's been a whole lot of fun. I'd rather do this and be able to do this than have a little bit more money or make a little bit more money, but be bound to one city and have to go into an office every single day.
Yeah, yeah, and like honestly, there's nothing worse, just for your sanity, for whatever, to be stuck to one fucking city, to one fucking office, and seeing the same fucking faces every
I
fucking
know.
day.
And it's like, and a lot of little things too. It's like, I don't have to wake up and get dressed and go to work. I can roll out of bed and just start working. And it's that, and just like saving time on that and saving commute on that and being able to do stuff in the middle of the day too, like being able to go to the gym during lunch and get like household stuff done around the day. That really helps as well.
No, fair enough. Well, look, I mean, let's address the elephant in the room here. All right, what is the biggest difference between you and me? You have a full set of hair, and I
Yeah.
ain't got none. Did you? What happened to your hairline, and what happened to mine? Tell me more.
I don't, I was starting to happen like yours a little bit ago. And it's something I can't talk about like what you did or what happened to yours. I can talk about what happened to mine. When I
Yeah.
was in Mexico about 2.5 years ago, I was just living there doing my thing, just working remote. I was in Condesa in Mexico City, and I started getting ads on Instagram for hair transplant places. I looked it up in Turkey before, but I didn't want to go to Turkey because it was a long trip, and I was in Mexico City for it. I was like, I'm here now. It's 1/5 of the price that it would be in the States. I'm just going to go and get it done. My hair wasn't that bad. I was Norwood 2, or like a little bit bad,
Hmm.
worse than a Norwood 2 at the time. And I'm like, I'm just going to fucking get it done. Like, why not? I'm here now. It's not that much money compared to the US, and it can be like a little incremental improvement to myself. So I went, got that done in like May 2022 now. So it's been like a little over 2 years now. And I feel like it looked really well. I have like a hairline now that I
Hmm.
didn't have when I was like 25 and 26. So like that really is something I'm happy I got done too. So that was really good. I just looked a little bit stupid for like 2.5 months while it kind of grew back, but it's been a great investment. I would 100% do it again. I recommend, like, the other day when I was out to dinner with one of my friends, I was like trying to get him to go down to the same place in Mexico I did because it was such a good deal. And you don't have, and being in the US, you don't have to fly over to Turkey and fly back. It's a lot more convenient getting it done in Mexico, and it's pretty much the same exact thing wherever you go, as long as you go to a decent doctor. All the decent
Yeah.
doctors are pretty much the same.
All right, fair enough. Did you
Mhm.
feel that? I mean, for me per se, like I used to have white men's hair, right? And then
Yeah,
I lost a little bit, receding a bit here, and I
yeah,
just thought, fuck this, I'm just gonna basically just shave and
yeah,
whatnot, right? It happens I've got a big frame, so actually, it's all
yeah,
right type of stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I thought
But
about that.
yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm a
no, this
smaller
one
guy.
good.
Yeah, I'm 5'7", so it's like I can't be a manlet and also bald. So it's like I need to pick a struggle. So it's like I'm just gonna like get this done and just kind of go with that.
No, no, I think it's right. I think it's right. Like, I mean, can you provide your height more or less? Like, are you?
Okay. I'm 5'7", which is kind of short, but it's short by like American standards. But
Yeah,
a lot of people on the internet always like hate on like being short. Like you're short, you're not going to get
yeah.
girls. It's going to be a struggle for you. But I think it's more like a mentality kind of based on that.
Hmm.
It's like you just got to be doing like the right things that you're supposed to be doing, and it's not going to be that big of an impact on your life. Like I do well with girls. I was going to say pretty well in the States, but it's like I had no trouble going on like dating apps and getting dates. Even with my like height listed, I feel like I was able to like get my other areas of my life to a point that kind of overshadow me being like a shorter guy.
Hmm.
And it's just like it
Hmm.
doesn't care that much. And that and my confidence is really up now. I have a really good career. I feel like I did good at like presenting myself, and it doesn't like hurt me that much. So
Yeah.
that's kind
No,
of that.
it's interesting you say this because for me, I'm 6'2", right? I'm
Yeah.
6'2", and I feel that it would be out of place to say that it's a mentality things
Mhm.
to people that say, hey, look, like you're fucking 6'2", like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, right? You
Yeah.
don't know what life is, right?
Yeah.
But I do think, because the thing is, shorter people tell me that since COVID and everything, they see more women say, "Oh, 6 feet plus," no, no, no. A bit like from that social media
Yeah.
feedback loop that kind of like make them just parrot
Yeah.
shit. But really, when I see actually people that say, is like, I remember like this girl saying, "Oh, I just only date 6'2", people guy above 6 feet," and I'm just like, "What were your last boyfriend as?"
Yeah.
And they were both below 6 feet. So it's
Yeah.
all a complete nonsense that they tell you, and it's like it
It's
becomes a
like
problem when you start
Exactly.
believing it
It's
is a
like they think
problem.
about it all the time. It's like, okay, I'm a short guy. This is going to be like a problem with me in dating. And it's like they think about that and it gets into their head and it affects their confidence. And everything they do is kind of revolved around that being short. You see it a lot on like Twitter, especially where guys just kind of like harp on that. But when you like actually see what these guys look like and like their life they're
Hmm.
living, it's like they're mediocre in every other sense. It's like you need it's like you need to like improve yourself and you're just going to do well. You can't blame yourself on being short. Like, yeah, it's a disadvantage, but if you do well everywhere else, you fucking negate that, and it's not that big of a problem.
And I'm like, and I think I remember I saw a tweet of yours, and you have like a body count of above 100. I'm like, it's like,
Yeah,
so it's like, it's
yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. People just get in their own head and they let it affect them way too much than it should be. Especially with like social media now, like girls saying they want 6 feet. Why do these girls say that? But they don't mean that. It's like they don't meet like charismatic, shorter guys because a lot of times they have like a Napoleon complex or they let it eat at them. And it's like, that's always kind of back in their mind. It's like, you just gotta, this sounds really douchey to say, but you gotta like just kind of think you're kind of like the man to begin with. And it's just like,
yeah.
and
Uh,
it
it,
just not let it bother you.
it's about thinking God's gift, and the thing is, it's like I've been mugged by
Yeah.
a shorter guy than me. You
Yeah,
know,
it
I'm happy
happens.
to say it. I'm happy to
Yeah,
say it. Like that's, you know, like I know, and like sometimes
yeah.
to some girl, for example, race will be more important than height. To some
Hmm.
others, height will be more important than race. But the main issue that that how do I say that people have is distinguishing and discerning what should you take at face value from a woman and what you shouldn't take at face value from a woman, because it's like half of it is gaslight, half of it is actually true, right? And it's
Yeah,
about, you
yeah.
know,
It's especially true. It's just like they say one thing and they mean another thing, or their actions mean something else, and it's just like just gotta roll with it. Like I won't lie, there's been times I got rejected for being a short guy, but it's like I don't care. It's just it's part of what it's part of life. It's going to happen, and I'm just going to move on and to the next one. Everything's going to be fine after that.
that's what I'm saying to short guys, right? Or shorter guys, right?
Yeah.
Is that at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. I can't please everyone. So
Hmm.
it's like if they tell you and if they're really set on the fact that you're shorter than them, that it's gone great.
Yeah.
She redirected you. She self-selected. Like you don't even have to think about it. There's nothing you could have done right
Hmm.
to make things change. And when you think about it, don't take into consideration and don't take any heed. No, I mean, not well. Just don't take any consideration to what a girl that is not attracted to you say,
Yeah.
so that you actually impact you negatively for the girl that may be attracted to you. Because you'll
Yeah.
have girls that
Exactly.
love you, you have girls that won't love you, and you're gonna have the girls in the middle. And
Yep.
if you let the feedback from the girl that don't love you impact what you truly think, you won't get the girls in the middle. You'll get the
Yep.
girls that like you anyway. And if you don't
Yeah.
fuck up because of your insecurity,
Yeah.
but you'll lose out on a lot of other girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And you got to be smart on it too. It's like I'm not hitting on girls that are like 5'10". I'm hitting on girls that are like 5'4" and below. It's like I have a good success rate with like girls like that. And it's just like I need to operate in like where it gives me like the best chance.
All right. Actually, another thing. I see. I mean, I'm a bit also jealous of the teeth. I mean, I got white
Yeah.
teeth, but it's like yours are actually very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Tell
I
us a
went.
bit more about
Yeah,
this.
so I went to Colombia a year and a half ago now to get
Mm.
veneers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with them. They cost 8,100 total to get them done, and I went there to a place called Top Smiles. It's where all the influencers I saw in Miami
Yeah.
going. It's like
Hmm.
I didn't have good teeth to begin with. Well, I didn't have great teeth. They were straight, but they were a little bit discolored. And that's another thing. If
Mm.
like I can perfect a part of my body, I'm just gonna fucking do it. It's just
Mm.
gonna be something that it just makes it helps with my confidence a little bit, and it's I feel like that's and get well, what am I trying to say? I feel like getting good teeth is like one of those things that like everyone notices right away. Every time I meet like a new girl or like a new like I talk to someone else, a lot of times they'll just look at me and be like, "You have really good teeth" or something like that. And you had to go to a good spot. There's a lot of places that you get veneers and they look awful, or you can tell immediately like they look like veneers. I feel like I
Hmm.
went to a good spot where you can tell I have really white teeth. If you have veneers and know people that have veneers, you might be able to tell. But I feel like they're not overly like veneer looking. So I'm really happy with that. And by far,
Hmm.
the biggest thing that girls ever say to me on dating apps is like, wow, you have really nice teeth. And I feel like just doing that has just like increased like my match rate on like apps, like very, very high.
Uh,
It's,
yeah. No. No. I mean, teeth is
Mhm.
low key high status symbol. Low key high
It
status
really
symbol.
is. I was going to mention that they associate having good teeth with like kind of like I don't want to say wealth, but kind of wealth because not everyone can have that, and not everyone does have it. And if you have like something like that, they're going to like look at you and be like, "Wow, this guy takes care of himself," and it's going to like be all those other kind of like positive emotions that come from that.
Exactly. Whether it's your teeth or whether it is your hair, right? Or
Yeah,
even it's your body, because I think you're quite a gym bro as well, right?
yeah, yeah. I competed in powerlifting for about 10 years when I was younger. So I competed. I did my first powerlifting meet in like 2002, and I did kept on competing until 2013. Then I switched to weightlifting and competed in that for about 2 years. And I competed in CrossFit for a little bit after that. So it's like
Hmm.
I've always been like a gym bro. I've always been trying to keep myself as like healthy as I can.
Yeah, because thing is, when it comes to looks optimization here, like what
Yeah,
we're just discussing, hair, teeth,
yeah.
body, half of it is for the outside display and what you convey and what you communicate to the outside world. But half
Mhm.
of it is for your confidence, which is
I
actually
know
going to be that
it.
lever, right?
It does. It's like once I got the hair transplant and once I got like my teeth, I noticed like I was getting more attention from like the opposite sex. And it's like once that starts to happen, it's like an internal like feedback loop. It's like, okay, this is working and it's making my confidence higher. And now it's just like I'm kind of building off of it. And it just kind of it's like a building factor. It just makes me more confident. I'm happy with the way I'm looking. Other people can see that when I'm interacting with them. especially like being like fitness. I feel like that really helps now because if you look around now, everyone is like obese or like at least a little bit fat. And it's just like, if you're not that, you stand out a lot. And it's hard not to notice that when you like go out to bars, go out partying, it makes you stand out a lot.
And as well, it makes you stand out the older you fucking get, because the older you get, the more you're a minority and a scarcity.
Yeah, I noticed that too. A lot of my friends now, I don't want to down or like talk shit to my friends, but I can tell they're like not what they used to be. And it's like me, I'm still like in the shape I was when I was like in my mid 20s. And I feel great about that. And I feel like that helps me in like everywhere in like life. It helps me with like girls. It helps me in like work because people look at me, they treat me better because of like I'm in shape. And it's just like, it's just like an all around like beneficial in like every area of your life. It's like, there's no reason not to try and be like in good shape. And like being in shape isn't really that hard either. It's just like you go to the gym 3-4 times a week and you don't eat like a fucking slob and you do fine. You'll be in shape. You'll be lean. You just, I don't know. People can't do that nowadays.
Any gym routine recommendation? What would you normally do?
Pretty much anything. It's like I stick to like a bro split now. I'm trying to lose some weight. It's pretty much if you do any routine and you just go hard at it, it's gonna work. You just got to push yourself. You can't go to the gym and just do like lazy shit, just not going like not exerting yourself. You need to go hard. And a lot of people don't do that. They'll go to the gym and just kind of like mosey through the workout and not really like exert themselves. As long as you're putting in like good effort at the gym all the time, you're just going to see results no matter what you do.
Good. No, that's good to know. That's good to know. And actually, now you talked about the passport, bro, right? So
Yeah.
you've been to Bali, you've been to Colombia, and everything. Where did you feel that you had the most success? You as a 36-year-old American.
This is going to be like a kind of answer people aren't going to expect, but it was Lima, Peru, and no one really goes. And I was thinking about why that is, and a lot of the places in South America, like Medellin, Mexico City, Rio, they're all inundated with other kind of like passport bro type people. So there's like an influx of like gringos in this area, and the girls of that area get a little bit tired out of it. And if I go to a place like Lima, Lima doesn't get that many digital nomad types. And like me being a digital nomad there, it's like they don't see that many people there. And another thing is like the local population of Peru, like the male population, they're all like shorter guys and they're all kind of ugly looking. So it's like I feel like I operate there like at the top level. It's like I pretty much match with all the girls on the apps there. Like I can go anywhere and just like have a good time. I feel like that was by far the best place I could go. And it's like they're also relatively poor by like US standards too, which sounds a little fucked up to say, but it's the truth. It's like I know I make more than like the athletes there. And it's like, I just go there. I'm a white guy. I make good money. I'm like pretty confident in myself. They don't see that many white dudes like me there. So it's just kind of like I stand out a lot when I'm there. And it's hard not to notice that. But that was by far the best place. And of course, like places like Colombia is going to be good because Colombia just has a higher percentile of like attractive girls to begin with. So like Lima, it's not local population isn't as attractive as like a Medellin or like a Buenos Aires, but you're able to operate at a higher level there because you stand out more. But if you go to like a Medellin, you're not at that high of a level, but there's just more of them. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, either what you're aiming with Lima is a supply shock benefit, which is meaning like your low supply. So even though there's a lower supply on a relative factor, you have a lower supply of you, then there are low supply of hot chick. However, because in Colombia there's a higher supply of hot chick, the fact that you have a higher supply of gringo offset the fact that
pretty much. That's exactly what I'm saying. And another thing is Lima is a city of like 7 million. So there's that's I think it's the third largest city in South America. So just because there's so many of them, you're going to get a lot of girls in like the upper echelons, like the 8s and 9s and stuff that you're going to find out there. It's just going to be a higher quantity. And there's a lot of good English speakers there too. So I had no issue really getting around. And one thing I didn't.
Go ahead.
One thing I didn't mention, when I went to get my teeth done in Colombia, I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, just get my teeth done and bounce out. But on my first day there, I had a bumble date with a girl who ended up being my girlfriend for about a year. So I just pretty much stayed there in Colombia. It happened. She got me. She was a sweet, sweet girl. She was really, really nice. And we dated for a year. She was working online too. She was an English speaker. She worked at a stem cell clinic in Medellin, and she was like the patient out person, whatever it was, patient like advocate. So she was dealing with like celebrities coming down to get like stem cell shots, which was kind of cool. But we broke up when she moved to France for grad school, and France was a place I can't move to because of tax reasons. But it was a good time. She was a really nice girl. We,
Man, trust me, I'm French.
yeah,
You don't want to go there. You don't want to
yeah,
go there,
yeah.
man. Of all places, she's gone to France. I mean, for her.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
But
It was a tough
you know,
breakup, but it happens.
hey, man, serendipity, right? Like,
Yeah,
first Bumble date, boom, one.
yeah,
But don't they make the best stories, though? The thing is
yeah.
the
They
most
are. It's like I
unexpected.
wasn't expecting it, and then it happened. Then I had a good time with her for like a year, and it's like that was kind of like the epitome of like what a passport bro does: go to a different country and get a girlfriend. It wasn't my intention; it just kind of happened. But
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened. It was a good time.
Actually, I forgot to ask you this question when we
Yeah,
were talking about looks optimizing.
yeah,
Uh, if you were to rank the biggest effect on each of the factors that you've addressed, right? Whether
yeah,
it was bodybuilding, right, which
yeah,
obviously had some type of impact on the face. I've puffed up a little bit because I've been on
yeah,
too much carbs and now I'm not at gym, so I need to
yeah.
shred. But when it comes to hair,
Like,
teeth,
yeah,
body, if you were to
yeah,
rank it based upon the feedback that you got from your look optimization,
yeah.
where would you rank each?
Teeth are by far the best thing, or it's like its teeth is by far like a bar ahead number one. It's hard for me to say like specifically body because I've always been kind of in shape. But as long as like you're in decent shape, it's like the teeth are going to be the number one thing. As we were saying, like teeth is like a big status thing. People see you. It's just like they like associate that with status, and it's just like that's not a lot. Like that is not something a lot of people have. And just having that, like I perfected like a part of my body, and I feel like that is by far like the best thing I would do or best thing I've done. I would do that again in a heartbeat, and that was really good. My hair wasn't that bad. Like I said earlier, I think it was in
Mm-hmm.
Norwood too, but I was in Mexico. It was cheap. I was like, I'm just gonna get it done. What the fuck? And I'm happy
Yeah.
with like the results.
For me personally, it's quite interesting because I mean I don't have as much jawline because I put on maybe 10 kg recently,
Yeah.
which is I'm yo-yoing my weight. It's ridiculous, right? Anyway, but I mean in some previous videos you can see I have the
Yeah.
fucking jawline and shit,
Yeah.
and you'd say like, oh, the jawline is that much? No, I've got fucking broad shoulders, big frame, everything,
Yeah.
right? But actually, most of the time, it's my smile. It's my
Yeah.
smile that people have been like.
They
Just to go
notice that.
back with what you're saying, exactly. It's like on top
It's
of that, and if you are darker skin, or black, white,
yeah.
the contrasting effect as well.
Yeah,
So
it really stands out, especially if you're darker skin. Like when I get tan, it looks really noticeable, and it's hard not to like see someone with nice teeth and like not like think that's like a good look. It's just like it's really beneficial. If I would do anything, if I would do this all over, I think the teeth would be the first thing I would get done.
all right, yeah, okay, good to know for listeners, that
Yeah,
may be thinking, and as well, teeth is because also I want to add on this on the teeth part.
yeah,
I want to add this. I hear a lot of women tell me, oh, but he has turkey teeth, oh, this or that, like kind of like shaming and all, like it's not
yeah.
natural. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like
They don't. They
honestly,
don't.
I am like, yeah, hold on, I just want to say,
Yeah,
shut the fuck up, because you see them girls, like you hear a lot of guys say, oh, but she has fake lips, she has fake hair, she has fake
yeah.
everything. But guess what? What does the bitches in bottle service look like? What does the bitches in private section look like? What are the bitches that are being bought out by fly out and gone the boat look like? That's that. Why? Because that's what the market demands. That's where the top price
Exactly.
people demand.
And
And the
like,
people that basically, and the people that finish, and the people that say that look like shit, that are generally people that can't afford it. Just saying.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
I notice that a lot. Every time I post something about my teeth on Twitter, I get people that would hate on me, like turkey teeth or whatever. But you know what? Even if they look a little fake, it's still better than the alternative of not having good teeth. It's like, boom, I got this done. It looks good. Some people can tell it's fake, but this is still better than your alternative. So you got a way like that. It's like what it was before versus what it is after. If you want to say it's turkey teeth, whatever, it's like, but it's still an improvement on what it used to be. That's why girls get like those lip implants. Why like BBLs are a thing now. It's like they're just doing it to get like that incremental effect. It's like, okay, some people might not like it, but I don't care. It's you do what you need to
So,
do to get like a little better.
how much did you say? You said you paid for $1,800 or something like that,
It was
dollars?
8,100 for my
18,000.
teeth, and And my hair transplant was $3,500. If I would get my teeth done in the US, it would be like 40 grand, and a hair transplant would probably be like 15 to 16 grand. So since I was like just living in South America, I'm like, I'm just going to get all this shit done while I'm down here.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, like the financial arbitrage is just, especially if like you've got
Yeah.
good quality doctors.
Yeah.
No, so that's no, that's something I wanted to say, because that's the same thing, right? Like I'd rather have that's why in France,
Mhm.
I don't know if you like. I went last time on Bumble, right? I would swipe left 90% of the time. And the 10% was when it was Anglo-Saxons, like either
Yeah.
Australian Americans. Why? Because they put makeup on. And I'm just like, it's like, yeah, but it's fake. Yeah, but I'd rather it be fake and looking good than nice and looking shit. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
And you said that exactly just before. You just said that. So I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we talked about Lima, Peru. We talked
Yeah.
about Colombia. You talked about,
Mhm.
you mentioned Buenos Aires. You mentioned Bali. Where else
Yeah.
did you go?
I was in Mexico City for a while. Mexico City was fun.
Yeah.
It's a really big like digital nomad hub now, so
Uh-huh.
it's pretty much similar to like dating in the US, but there's more like Spanish girls there, obviously. But
Mm-hmm.
that really was pretty good. But I was also in Playa del Carmen for a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend going there. I'm not sure if you're super familiar with that. It's like the Cancun area, and it's like a
Yeah.
small like kind of like city of like 200,000, and it's just all digital nomad types. And you run into the
Mm-hmm.
issue if you talk to like one girl, you're going to meet her friend like a little bit later on, and it's just like kind of very small like that, and it's like I really wasn't like that big a fan of that. So that
Mm-hmm.
was good. I also spent 2 months in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia,
Mm-hmm.
and I spent 2 weeks in Singapore. I was working over. I still work like U.S. hours, East Coast U.S. hours. So I was working from 9
Yeah.
p.m. to 5 a.m. while I was there. But I went there to experience it, see if I could work those hours. It sucked, to be honest, but it was a good
Mm-hmm.
time there. And like ranking like all the places I would go, like the Ease of Girls and stuff like that. Ease of Girls sounds weird, but if you're a white dude, if you go to an English speaking Asian country, you're just going to be doing amazing compared to like wherever else you are. It's just like you operate like at such a high level there. It's just like a cheat code there. It's
I
if you
know.
can work
Uh,
those hours and you just want to go for girls, that's where you would go.
yeah. I remember. Because there's a community of POA on X, right?
Yeah,
And I know some people that are white that I'm not gonna name, whatever. Like basically say there's no white privilege in Asia, right? It's like, man, I'm not white, right? I'm not
yeah,
white, but I've heard enough guys that are white that came back from Asia that be like, holy shit, I'm the king of oil.
yeah,
That's exactly it. It's like, look, it's at
yeah,
one point.
yeah. I have
Thank you
a
for
like
confirming.
Yeah. When I was in Bali in 2018, I met up with a girl I met on Tinder in like 2014, and she was an
Hmm.
actress in Malaysia doing like local TV shows. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, I'm like talking to her, like hanging out with her, and it's like, if I can do this in like Asia, it's like, that's like where you operate as like a white guy. It's like you like get
Yeah.
like those girls like that. It's like I'll get girls like that, girls that are like the Instagram kind of influencers with like 60,000 followers. It's just like, that's kind of common. It like happens a lot, and it's just kind of like surreal going from that. Then going back to after I left from there in 2018, I moved to Chicago, and it's just like going
Hmm.
from like operating in Asia, dating in Asia, to going back to Chicago, dealing with all kind of like a wokish area. Even though Chicago's a good city, there's a lot of good, but it's just like the quality is just like on a completely different level in that comparison.
You see, that's another thing, right? Because there's another thing that we hear a lot on X, or even on YouTube, whatever, where passport bros are that like basically is because they can't get girls in the US. But at the same time, I hear people from the US is
Yeah,
fucking 80% land whales. So if it's
yeah.
80% land whales, it's not about you not getting the girls, it's about the supply being shit.
Yeah, it is. It's like I'll open up apps here it now, and it's just like I swipe right left like 90% of the time now. It's just like guys don't do that. It's just like all these girls are like disgusting looking, and it's just like weird things you had to happen. It's just like they'll have like overtly political shit in their profiles still, and it's just like it only happens in America. It's like that's not true in South America. That's not true in like places in Europe and like Asia. It's only in America where they're just like very political and like that's kind of their identity. And it's to the point
Mm.
where it's like I'm kind of like a conservative, but I just put on a moderate just because I don't want to have to deal with like arguments and shit like that.
Actually,
It's
it's interesting you mentioned this, right? For me, I don't even put like politics on it. I mean, like I just put homeless sperm donor, and that's about it, right?
yeah,
As a profession, but
Yeah.
But do you put your height? Because people that are your height, or
Yeah.
shorter, or maybe slightly taller, they may
Yeah.
say like, don't put your height. So I'm just asking.
I do put my height because there's times where I don't want to meet a girl that's like 5'9" and that being awkward, because that has happened before. And it's just like, I want to know, like, I feel like I do well enough that I'll put like my height. And if they like me, they'll like me. If not, I don't care. It's just like, I just want to make sure like when I meet up, is going to be a good quality meetup when that happens.
Yeah, because I hear whenever I talk with girls on dates or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tell me about, like the guy lied on his height, so there was an expectation level that he was taller than he said he was, and then even though they don't have a ruler and be like, they can more or less guess, more or less. I mean,
a lot of times it's like I list it. They add me on like Instagram, and you can see like how tall I am on like my Instagram posts, and it's just like it's never an issue with like the girls I'm really going after. It's like I'm not going after like 5'10" girls. I'm going after girls shorter than me, so it just kind of works out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, for me, funnily enough, I prefer petite girls, even though I'm fucking 6'2". Go figure, right?
Yeah,
Taking away some of the supply.
Yeah, your future kids are gonna hate you.
Well, actually, my dad was 6'2", like me, right? But my mom is about 5'3", 5'4". But apparently, it's from the mom side that the height gene is.
Yeah, I just saw something about that the other day, showing like the mom side of the mom side is where you get your height from, and I was like, I never knew that, but that's kind of interesting to know.
Yeah, no. So also another question I had is, I know a few Colombian people around here, right? And they're telling me that obviously there's an influx of gringos, Americans, right, going to Colombia, and apparently American embassy, warned guys about the bait and switch that some of local crime is doing on guys, basically, like, I wouldn't say cartels, but like just local gang using girls as a bait to basically rob the guys. What's been your experience in that?
I haven't never had like an experience like that because I'm kind of smart with it. It's like if a 20-year-old girl is inviting you over her house right away and she's gorgeous, it's like that's a setup. Don't fucking do that. Just kind of be smart with it. A lot of these people I've seen on online that get like scoped or get like drugged and robbed and like have bad things happen to them, they're people just ignoring all the red flags. It's like I saw one of like a 55-year-old like Asian guy met up with like two 22-year-old girls and got drugged. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is obviously a setup, but they don't know any better. It's like they get like kind of happy. They're first time in Colombia, and they just throw all like concern out the window and just kind of go through it. And that's when bad shit happens. It's just like you just got to be smart about it. Don't do anything kind of stupid, and just be intelligent. It's like if it seems like it's going to be a setup, it probably is a setup, and just fucking don't do that. I know like a lot of people like from just posting on Twitter that are in Colombia and they never had anything bad happen to them. But it's just you people that just like throw like common sense to the wind and go with it. And that's when bad stuff happens. You just got to be kind of like reasonable about it.
Yeah. So, outside of being by the book CPA, I mean, I'm sure you do by the book CPA, you're streetwise as well outside. So kind of like the both hats. So no, good shit. Mm-hmm. And also, actually, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got a growing community. Me with 007. I think you follow 007 as well, right? Or,
We interact from time to time.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, and Chris. So we have this YouTube channel who's growing gradually. Slowly, we post about one thing weekly, more or less.
Yeah.
But what I find really interesting with your profile on X is, I remember it was about 500 and everything. Mm-hmm. And then you had that Futurama fucking Spitfire guy coming in, and you started shit posting and doing all this. And your account became actually quite there's a bit of serious, but also a bit of fun, and I really like the mix of both. So
I'm just trying to have
your thing.
I'm just trying to have fun on it. It's kind of funny. My account was like at 1,000 followers like 3 months ago, and I just kind of like just started like posting more experiences about my life. When I posted about Ibiza being there, like that got me like 2,000 followers, and just posting like stories from like dating apps and like shit like that. Just experience from my life just kind of grew up on there. So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah, actually, I think, it was actually, can you tell us, I mean, whatever you can allow yourself to tell about Ibiza a bit for people that don't know,
Yeah, I was thinking about this. This was my my fourth year going there. My friends have been going there. This was their 10 years. So we go there pretty much once a year, and we just go out and just have like pretty much a week-long bender. And it's me and three of my friends. So I'm 36. The youngest one's 35, and another one's 38 and 39. And we just go there and we just like pretty much party the entire time. We go to the raves, we go to the day clubs. And we have a pretty kind of like set in stone kind of game plan for what we do there. At first, when we get there, we'll go there. We'll go pregame at one of the day clubs, and we'll get a table at one of the day clubs where we get like bottles and stuff like that. And we use that to try and pick up girls at like the pool area. So we'll go there, we'll talk to girls, bring them back to our table, and we're like, hey, we have a villa. This is going to sound fucked up, but we're just kind of throwing like money around at that point. And a lot of these girls are like 25, 26, and they're staying in like a 1-bedroom apartment with like 3 of their friends. And then when we talk to them, it's like, yeah. And it's like, we talk to them and it's like, hey, come back to our bottle. We'll get you drinks. Hey, we're going back to our villa. Our villa has a pool. And they're just like, their eyes kind of light up because it's like they never experienced stuff like that. Then they come with us, then we'll go to like a nightclub and we'll just party at like the nightclub. We're doing like Molly and we're just like rolling the entire time. And that's, and when we're at the nightclubs, we also get like tables there. We spend like a decent amount of money, but we're having like a really good time. And this is something we would be doing even if without like girls there. So we're just having a great time there. And that's our plan. Like we talk to the girls like, hey, this is what we're doing. You should come with us. And it's a lot of times they never experienced stuff like that with us or never experienced stuff like that before. So they're completely down. They hang out with us and they'll go their separate ways in the morning. And it's just kind of a good time. But that's a lot of fun. I look forward to it every year. It's my 1 week a year where I really just go on like kind of like a drug binge kind of like induce like an event. But it's great. It's like all my good friends. They all have like actual career jobs too. And we all just get away and get let loose for like a week or so.
And I remember like you made a list of their profession, their titles, this girl on 6 figures, whatnot. I think you posted also like, I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was last year or a few months ago where you were talking about Mykonos. Didn't you go there as well?
Oh no, I was about to. I found a really cheap deal on Airbnb for Mykonos, but the Airbnb canceled on me like 2 weeks later. So I was like, I couldn't go there. It was just mispriced, and I was hoping I could sneak one by, but that didn't work.
Yeah, no, but it's like literally what you did in Ibiza, right? Is the right strategy, right? Like it's about have yourself a fucking big villa, nice view, villa, and pool, right? And then basically it's about bringing them back, right? Because it's like the girls, they'd be like, doing some bog standard job and they're crammed into like a 1 bed and it's like, anyway, there'll be some guys that'll take us to one of the villas and everything. Oh, but we love traveling, but no, we're not hoes, no, you just basically rent your ass in order to go to some other fucking villas. I know, I was one of them. I was in one of them villas. I've seen it. And it's like also another thing which was fucking crazy. What I saw was like you had 21-year-old, 20-year-old, 19-year-old being already at their self booked by other guys in other villas. So one day she was at that guy villa, the other day another guy villa, another day that was a guy villa. Crazy. And you had guys that were literally calling, basically they tell the girl, just get the plane ticket and don't worry, you have your food and accommodation sorted and you stay in the villa.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just like you're throwing money around for these girls. And it's like a lot of people are like going to be like, see this and be like, you're paying for sex, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, I'm just going there having a good time. It's just like, I'm just having like fun with this shit. And it's just kind of what it is at this point, and it's a good time. I do have another story kind of about this. It kind of shows like kind of like the hierarchy there. Last year when I was in Degen, I started talking to this really cute like Asian girl. She gave me her WhatsApp. We were going to play and hang out. We met at like a day club. We made it at the day club. Then she gave me her WhatsApp to hang out with her. And then she blew me off that night. And I was like, oh, whatever. Then I saw her on Instagram and she's on stage with like the DJs. And the next day she's on a yacht. And I'm like, that kind of makes sense. She blew me off. It's just kind of like what it is there. But
it's like, it's all monetized. It's all hypergamy. It's like literally like, the thing is, if you want someone serious, right? If you want someone serious as a girl, right? Mm-hmm. And she's gone and she's done the whole shebangle, right? Of all those places and everything. It's like her reference point are that level, right? They're at that level, that reference point. So if you're coming, not Degen CPA, but if you're just coming fucking family CPA type of stuff, like fucking provincial US, flyover state, whatever, and you just go on to your trip, maybe I don't know. What would be a typical place where average people go on holidays to in the U.S.?
In like the U.S., it would be like Myrtle Beach, or you go to like Miami, or like a place like that, or you might go to like Cancun if you're spending a little bit more. But like they typically don't go outside of like big trips like that.
Yeah, exactly. So once your girl has basically been to Cancun, Tulum, Cabo,
Yeah.
I don't. So even if she's gone to Mykonos, Ibiza, all those places, it's like
Mhm.
she's already seen everything and anything. Like you have
Yeah.
girls now, they basically go on fucking, like they've been on dates with a guy fucking riding Ferrari, McLarens,
Yeah.
Bentley. It's like
Yeah. And they're
they're
like,
fucking complete blasé.
yeah,
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 go ahead.
it's hard. It's like then they'll come back and they'll like date like normal guys, and it's just like it doesn't do it for them anymore. It's just like they got like a taste from there, and it's like they almost get stuck at that like set. And it's like, okay, I hung out with this one rich guy this one time, and that's like where they want from in like the future. This is kind of
Yeah,
like what it is now.
it's like, imagine, right? Imagine you basically went into and got like a fucking double blowjob, and then afterwards it's like you get a starfish sex. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
where's the
I think
deal, right?
yeah, it's that's kind of comparable to like living in Latin America, then going back to the U.S. for a little bit. It's like all these like Latinas all the time, and they come back and it's just like left swipes like 90% of the time. It's night and day.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So now the question is, so
Mhm.
you move back to the U.S., right? So you move back
Yeah,
to the U.S. and why did you leave the Golden Goose? And when I mean the Golden Goose, like the Latinas and everyone
yeah.
from down the.
I got a little tired of just living out of a suitcase for a little bit. It's like
Mhm.
everything I owned was in two suitcases. I put on a plane and just travel with like everywhere. And that gets a little old. It gets hard to work like in that setup. So I wanted to come back to the U.S., set up shop here. My plan is to buy a house sometime in the next year. Then once I do that, I'll at least I'll be building equity somewhere. Then I'll be able to just
Mhm.
go kind of jet off and dick around. So it's probably be another like 3 or 4 months before I leave again. But I just want like a
Mhm.
place where I can store all my stuff and just have a place to be like home when I want to. It's like I've just been by myself for like 2.5 years with like I make like guy friends from like Twitter and stuff like that. But it's good to have like a good foundation where I want to like live, where like all my friends are, my family is, and someplace to come back to, and everything's kind of
Yeah.
normal and how I expected. Like the Airbnb life is fun, but it gets old after a while. It's just like I need like
Mm.
stability in like some sense.
Uh, I understand totally where you're coming from, right? I'm the son of a diplomat, and I was living my childhood in a suitcase. And well, guess what? I've not moved from fucking London in 14 years, right? So
Yeah.
it's like I'm just happy, as we say in French, like that pied à terre. I don't know if you know, because it's a word that is also used in English, a pied à terre.
I
It's
don't
where,
know.
it's a base. It's your fucking base, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
where you're now, right, is your fucking base. No, I
yeah,
totally understand. And no, because I was like, all right, what's going to this guy's head to basically exchange, Papi Chulo
yeah,
to fucking,
yeah.
well,
It is. I
say,
do
saving
like
Nemo. Yeah.
yeah, I do like being back here. The main thing is like, well, not a main thing, but it's like I have a big friend group back here. I have all my friends from when I
Yeah.
used to live here. It's like I go out all the time, and I always have people doing stuff, and I have. It's nice to have that. It's like when I've been abroad, a lot of times it's just like me by myself, and my main source of like interaction or friends were like girls from dating apps. And after a while, that does
Yeah.
get old, and it's just like I need like
Yeah.
some camaraderie with like actual guy friends that I get along with, and that's something I kind of like missed when I was abroad.
Yeah, no, hey, man. At some point, I'll tell you, chasing, chasing poon is just not worth it. Like
Yeah.
last evening, I was just basically at one of my friends, just catching up, and you know, family man, bought himself a new dog. He's gonna get a second property.
Yeah.
Really, really, like really chill. And I was like, oh man, I much more enjoy basically smoking a joint with him, and then
Yeah.
just like and rather than actually go and chase poon, I was just like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck,
It's like you're building a friendship there. That friendship's going to be there forever. The prunes are going to come and go. It's just like you. Sometimes you just want to chill with your boys and have a good time.
yeah, and just yeah, exactly, catch up,
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, no, it's but would you recommend passport broing to your average person?
Uh, I don't know. It's like for like your average person, I feel like you should still be doing like kind of like the looks optimization stuff. But it's like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you do need to do it for a little bit and just go somewhere, live somewhere else in a different country, and just like see like they're like it's still the same type of stuff. It's like they have normal jobs, they have normal lives there, and it's just like a fun experience to have. So in that kind of sense, I would recommend doing it for like a little bit, maybe to see if you like it. I do think it's a fun time to do, but you need to like be wary if you want to do it like full time because it can get like a little tiring. Like it happened to me, but I had a great time and it was fun doing it and it was a good time. I'm glad I did it and I'm probably going to be doing it in some sense in the future. So that's kind of
Because
that.
because actually there's someone I speak with, and he's originally from Pennsylvania area, right? And never, always lived around this quarter and everything. And said to him, he's not happy with what he's seeing in terms of girls, in terms of in terms of long-term prospects.
Yeah.
And he started learning Spanish, and he's going at the end of the month, South America.
Yeah.
Because he's never seen that. The question I have,
Yeah.
it's like for him, it was almost like a little bit of a nudge that he needed in order to be pushed.
Yeah.
Did you need that nudge, or did you have a trigger yourself for you to move?
I never had the trick, or I didn't need the nudge. I started doing solo traveling like when I was like a long time ago. Like I did my first solo trip in like 2014, and I just went to Hong Kong by myself for a week. And when I went there, I had like the time of my life. I had so much fun there. I'm like, this is great. I love going to different places. I love like meeting people from different cultures. This is fun, and I'm trying to like maneuver myself to whatever way I can so I can do this whenever I want. And it's just kind of been like that. It's just I just want to like have more fun, and it's just like I've been structuring my life to try and be able to do stuff like that.
All right, I got a few questions actually. Hong Kong. My best friend told me Hong Kong is a fucking place to be, and for me, I'm not really that Asian type of like guy and everything, but he just raved about it, and it was early to mid 2010s. What do you like about Hong Kong?
I like being in like a big city that's like a different culture. Like it was like it's all in a different language, all with the like the I don't want to say Asian culture, but it's like the Chinese culture there. Everyone is a little bit different, and it's interesting to see that like a large like megatropolis city like that, just like completely different than anything you like experience. And there's all people from all over the world or that side of the world there. So it's like a bunch of people that I will never interact with, but in general, just kind of there grouped together. And interacting with people like that's a lot of fun. Like I was meeting up with like girls from like New Zealand, Australia, girls from like Taiwan. That's just fun. That's interesting to see, and just like getting to a different like perspective of that, because they live like a similar life, going to work 9 to 5, blah blah blah. But there's also they're very different too. It's just kind of interesting to like experience stuff like that.
Actually, this is another question I have. Is that ever since I've been on the pod, like this is the first time when we actually chat, like face to face, and there was a couple of voice notes on X, right? But I can tell like you're quite the dynamic extrovert, easily approachable, affable, all of that. Were you always like that, or did you learn to become it?
I think I learned to become this. It's like when I was younger, I was like very like introverted, and just like I don't know why. This is going to sound fucked up, but I used to think I was better than people, and I didn't want to talk to people. I was like, nah. But I had to like break out of that. It's just like I just want to like talk to people, have a good time, and everyone's just trying to have a good time too. As long as you're like a friendly person, just trying to do shit and just being nice to people, it all just kind of works like that. And just trying to go in like a positive mentality into like all your conversation you have and everyone you interact with, and people can notice like the energy and that you're giving them, and they feed off of it. And it's once you kind of start seeing it, and you start seeing like how the interactions go with like men, women, whoever, you kind of like learn to kind of like go with it.
Well, no, but that's good, because like I'm talking to different people, and like sometimes they're introverted, and it's like either it can come from, let's say, what you previously called, what you previously had and admitted, which was some type of superiority complex.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just a bit too much social, how do you say, social self-consciousness, self-consciousness that's hold them back. It's like, what are the people going to do? What are people going to say about me doing this or being that? When actually, most of the time, what you realize, people don't fucking care.
They don't at all. It's like it's like I think about stuff like that, like some embarrassing moments in my head. Or I had in my past. Like I'm thinking like the stuff that's you think about at like 3 a.m. when you're trying to fall asleep. It's like you're the only person ever thinking about it. No one else is ever going to think about it. It's just like all in your mind. No one cares. No one cares about that awkward shit you do. It's just like just go out and have fun. And if you do something weird, it's not going to happen or can't dwell on it. Just fucking move on and just fucking go.
All right. And last question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's your plan? What's your plan with Degen CPA X account? Because it's like you're blowing up big time. You've overtaken me.
I don't know. It's like I just hit 10,000 followers. I wasn't expecting that. When I first got on it, I was just like posting about like me being a nomad. I was talking to like other nomads in South America, and I built a little bit of following. I think it's kind of fun. I don't know. I just like telling stories about my life. I do a lot of fucked up shit. Well, I shouldn't say fucked up, but like weird shit. People find that funny. And I like sharing experiences of it. Like I'm getting a little bit of ad revenue from like X now and I'm just gonna kind of keep going, kind of see where it takes me, and go from there.
Yeah, man. Whatever you're doing, I'm a fan, and to be honest,
Yep.
keep on doing it because I think it's a bit. It's an original account where you get to, it's not in your face,
Hmm.
but it has some fun. It has some insights. It's really
Yeah.
infotainment, right? And there's
Yeah.
also a bit of personality to it.
Yeah. I'm trying to
So
have fun. I feel like there's some topics I can talk to like in depth about like remote work, accounting, and some specific finance stuff. But I also like having fun and just posting like stupid shit I do. And I feel like being a combination of like an accountant that normally doesn't do shit like that, and
uh,
like my fun life is like an interesting mix, and I just kind of
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah, and also like you don't, and also another thing is not taking yourself seriously is a breath of fresh air in a space where a lot of people do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's what drive people. Like you were saying, I think I saw a post you say, I'm not red pill, I'm not, I'm not this, I'm
yeah,
not like, I'm just living my life and I'm
yeah,
sharing it. And if you like,
yeah. I was
great. If not, fuck off.
exactly. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm not like I don't. I'm not a red pill person. I'm not like a tradcon person. I'm just myself, and I'm just trying to live like the best life I really can. And it's just like I'm sharing like moments of that, and just being like stupid shit from that. And it's just like I feel like it's fun sharing moments like that. And if people want to, if people find that interesting, I think that's fun.
Well, I see, if I think there's a lesson for a lot of people in terms of interpersonal skills and just influence or even charisma, is just give value to people. Don't expect anything back,
Mhm.
and they'll reward you with it.
Yeah,
I met Degen CPA was at 500. He's now 10K, and
yeah,
people are vibing with this shit because he really shows he doesn't give a fuck
yeah.
and
One
he
thing.
wants to share. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
and one thing I try and like be friendly to people that talk to me. It's like I make friends in that way. It's like I still talk to them. I try and respond to like all the messages I get. It's just trying to be like friendly with people. Like it's like I made a lot of friends on Twitter, and it's just like that's a good use for it. It's like I'm not trying to sell people anything. I just feel like it's just kind of like fun in that sense. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to really describe it.
Same with me, right? Same with me. I've made a lot of friends. I've like guys in Chicago, guys in Miami, guys in
Mhm.
fucking like fucking Saudi Arabia, like
Yeah,
India, everything. And it, like honestly, once I move and travel, I'll just basically just have a shake their hand, we do some shit. And now, literally, once you basically have the ability to travel and go anywhere else,
hmm,
you have your network. And if
yeah,
Twitter basically has created thing, is that network of people. You don't have to go and be a big influencer type of shit. But when you
yeah,
develop contact, you never know who they be. They could
yeah.
be a
Exactly.
trader, they can be an accountant, they can be, God
Yeah.
knows what, like a personal trainer.
Mhm. Yeah, like I have a lot of contacts now from Twitter in different cities in like South America. So it's like when I go back there, I have people to hang out with, which is great. Just from me being a dickhead on Twitter, it's like I made friends, and it's like I have people to hang out with similar mindsets. We'll go get a drink, do stupid shit, and have a good time.
And also another thing I've noticed with the Twitter is that I tend to find that there's a much higher level IQ of people on there, so that
Yes,
basically you already filter out a lot of the draws.
yeah, I noticed that too. And I feel like Twitter is very good for getting like news and stuff like that. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's like when I don't want to call my normie friends, but like when I talk to them about like current events, I feel like they're like two or three like news cycles behind like Twitter people. And I'm just like I don't want to have this conversation because I feel like it's kind of ridiculous at this point. It's like I was at a dinner the other day. One person thought Trump faked the assassination, and another one
Yeah, I
thought it
saw
was
that
like an
tweet. I saw
inside
that tweet.
plot. And I'm like, I'm just not going to get into this. It's like, I know what happened, but I just would rather not be in this conversation. So I'm just going to let them do their own thing.
But you see, that again is very much social smartness. Not trying to
Yeah.
be Mr. Smartass. You pretend you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and so that you don't basically come across as either arrogant or conceited to your friends, because they're your
Yeah.
friends. You don't want to
Yeah.
basically be a
Yeah.
fucking dick, right?
Yep.
And most likely you're not going to convince them, but you take
Yeah,
note of where
exactly.
they
It's just
are.
like it would be talking to a brick wall almost. They're setting their views and whatever. And it's just like it's
Yeah,
not a
that's
good conversation. It's not a friendly conversation. So I just want it to end and move on to us being dickheads or something more fun.
exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, you want to have those people, those guys, going fucking in Ibiza, getting fucking wasted and drugged up, and getting bitches. That's what they're
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
for.
Pretty much.
No, not talking about politics they cannot change, right? Yeah, no, I mean, if they're in a swing state, maybe, but even then, they might get they might get how do you call it? Not rigged, um,
Yeah.
massaged numbers,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Who knows? I do best where
Yeah,
I like try and tune out like politics. It's like I know like
yeah,
what I like, but it's like I don't want to follow it every single day. It's like me following
yeah.
politics in depthly doesn't do anything for my life. It just like it's unneeded mental space for like shit that for other shit or taking up other shit that I could be focusing on. It's like I don't see like a point in like following it that much or looking at it like day to day and all this stuff. I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't wait until the
Look,
election's over here in the U.S.
it's Love Island for the middle class. I call it like
Yeah,
literally. And I come from, and I have and my bachelor is my minor in my bachelor is political science. And I tell
yeah.
you that, and I work for the French National Assembly. Telling you that you're wasting your time. Looking at politics long term.
Yeah, you're never
Waste.
going to change anything, and it's like WWE for adults. It is what it is. It's just like an
WWE
occupying.
actually,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they still have women on WWE.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
in politics you have Nancy Pelosi. Oof, hello.
Yeah,
I rather WWE though.
yeah. Same. At least that's entertaining.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Degen, great to have had you on the pod.
Yep,
Lovely speaking with you. Obviously, I'll see you on Twitter and we catch up and everything. And I'll share with you the no, I'll put you I'll send you the link for the video so you can share that to your following. People
yep,
can actually see who is behind Mr. Spitfire Futurama guy.
yep,
And yeah, and looking forward to catch up, man.
yep. Same. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking to you. It was good to finally like conversate with you face to face as opposed to like voice notes on Twitter. It was a good time, man.
Yeah.